and welcome to Chemistry Nuggets, where you can polish your knowledge and clear your doubts. Friends, today I am going to start the most awaited and the most confusing topic of the chemistry, that is thermodynamics. So friends, let's study thermodynamics. Today is the part 1 of this chapter. This is the introduction of thermodynamics. Let's start. So, thermodynamics, it is made up of two terms, thermo and dynamics. That is, thermo means temperature and dynamics means motion. Means in this chapter we will understand about the transfer of energy from one place to another and from one form to another. We have to study this. Or in more easier words, in this chapter we will learn the relationship between the heat, work, temperature and the energy. So relationship between heat, work, temperature and energy. We have to study the relationship between these four terms. Now, to study this chapter, we need to understand some of the new terms which is introduced in this chapter. And as we understand these terms, it is easy to understand the thermodynamics. So, let's start with the first term, that is system and surrounding. Now, what is system? When we are going through a process, suppose we have a test tube in which some reactant is there, for which we have to study the process, what is going on inside the test tube. Now this test tube along with the reactant, this is called system. So system is the place where the process occurs. We can say a place where the process occurs is called a system. Now, around the system, whatever is there, that is called surrounding. This is called system is kept in which condition? It is called surrounding. Correct? So, take an example. Suppose I have a cup of tea in which we have a tea. Now, this cup of tea is a system because I have to understand whether the tea is hot or cold and how much time it will take to be getting cold. What is the volume of the tea? Whatever we have to study the process, that the cup with the tea is a system. And this cup of tea is kept on the table this time. So it means this table is the surrounding. Understand? So the condition in which the system is kept is called its surrounding. And system plus surrounding together makes the universe. It means system and surrounding both are the parts of the universe. We can say around the system, whatever, the whole surrounding, the whole universe is the surrounding for a system. Yes, this is true. But actually in the practical way, the nearby surrounding only we will study, and nearby surrounding is considered for a system. Means if I am sitting in this room and I am going to do a process, so the temperature of the room, the condition of the room, how big the room is, that is called the surrounding for my process, whatever I am going to do. Okay? Not the whole universe, not the whole city. It doesn't matter. Although they are part of the surrounding. Okay? The nearby surrounding matters. Now, come up to the next term, which is types of system. As we understand what is system, the place where the process occurs is called system. Now, system are of three types. The first one is open system. The second one will be closed system. And the third one will be isolated system. Now, first we study about the open system. We have a vessel or flask in which reactant is there, or some, we can say, water is there. Now this is a system. This system is open. As we see, there is no lid on the top. So it means it is an open system. Why? Because in an open system, there will be a exchange of matter. Exchange of matter happens. And also the exchange of energy. Because it is an open system, there is no lid, it means energy, matter will go out and some matter can also enter the vessel. And if we are going to heat this, give heat energy, then what will happen? The content inside that start boiling and start vaporizing. That in the form of vapors, the matter will go out. It means the volume will be later, the lesser than the previous. It means matter go out. At the same time, if the lid is open, some outside particles will drop inside and the volume will increase. So it means matter exchange is possible. And energy exchange is possible because the wall of conductings. If we take some kind of metal or glass of kind of metal, then the energy transfer is also possible. So this kind of system is called open system. So exchange of matter and energy is happening, and the wall of the system should be conducting. Then only energy transfer is possible. Now, this is understand the open system. Next come to closed system. A closed system is suppose the same vessel. Same vessel means having conducting walls, having the same kind of reactant or water, whatever. But now this time I put a lid on this vessel. Clearly seen? I close the system. Now what happens? Matter exchange not possible. No. Energy exchange possible. Exchange of energy. Okay. So, the system in which only the energy exchange is possible, no matter exchange is possible, that kind of system is called a closed system. If we have this kind of system, a vessel in which water is there, and I start heating and put a lid on that vessel, what will happen? If the water gets heat up, it will transfer the energy from inside to outside. So energy transfer is possible because the vessel is made up of some kind of metal. Now the lid is there. What will happen? The vapors will start coming out and they touch the lid and drop down again. It means matter exchange is not possible. There is no mass which is able to go out. So no exchange of matter, but exchange of energy. This kind of system is called a closed system, and the walls of the system should be conducting. As I told, if the walls are conducting, then only the energy transfer is possible. Now come up to the isolated system. Now suppose a vessel. Now here it is not the same vessel. It is made up of insulated insulated material. Now, wall of the vessel is insulated. It means energy transfer stopped. There is no exchange of energy. Same thing is there inside, and tighten up with the lid. This is also insulated. Now, what will happen? If the process is going on inside the insulated system, like this, having insulated wall, insulated lid, it means there is no exchange of matter as well as no exchange of energy. This type of system is called isolated system. Okay? No exchange of matter and energy. Okay? And the wall of the system should be insulated. So the example for the isolated system is the closed thermoflask. Okay, suppose we have a thermoflask and we put tea inside that and tighten the lid. Now there is no heat exchange. We can't feel it hot outside for very long time. Although in practical there is not a possibility to make a complete isolated system. Although we are telling thermoflask is isolated system, but at some extent, for a very long period of time, it's not, because we keep the tea, but after 24 hours, after 48 hours, the tea got cooler. It means energy exchange was there from inside to outside, energy transferred. Then only the tea got cooler. Now, if the lid is tightened, it means there is no exchange of the mass also. No matter is exchanged. Neither the volume is lesser, neither the volume is increased. So, a thermoflask with a tightened lid is a insulated system. Now, a thermoflask with a open lid. What kind of system it makes? Boundaries are insulated, but the lid is open. It means matter exchange is possible. So now matter exchange is possible. It means it is a open system. So these small points we should understand while going through the numericals, because they will give some kind of condition and we have to understand the condition so that we can able to apply the correct form of the equation. Now come up to the next term, which is state of the system. Now, we understand the system. Again, what is system? The place where the thermodynamic process occurs is called a system. Now, what is the state of the system? State means the condition. Conditions which describes the condition which describe the system is called its state of system. Now, how to understand what is this? Suppose I am going to meet a friend which is new to me. I don't know who is that by face, but I knew that today I am going to meet and he is wearing the red color shirt. He will wear the green color watch. He is having a blue color scarf in his hand. So these all the things, like a man having red shirt with a green watch and with a, we can say, a blue scarf in his hand. So these together makes a state of that particular man. These things together makes the particular condition of that man, that if a person I am going to meet, if he is fulfilling all these three things, then that is a particular man which I am going to meet. So this thing together makes the state of that man. In the same way, if we are going to do a process, we have a test tube, we have some kind of reactant in that. Now, only this is not enough. We need to mention whether, not all, but some of the properties are needed. We have to either mention the temperature of the system, or the volume of the system, or the number of moles of the system, or the pressure of the system, something we have to mention. Now, when we mention a system with some of these properties, not all, as I am every time telling, not all, but some of the properties are needed to describe a system, then it is called a complete thing and it is called a state of the system. Suppose I am telling I have a small amount of, simply I am telling the example, small amount of hydrochloric acid in my test tube. Its number of mole is something. So number of moles I will mention the concentration, dilution or volume of the reactant. Then it is called the state of the system. System was the test tube with a hydrochloric acid. Clear up? Now you understand the state of the system. Now next term which is related to this term is the state variables or state functions. We studied we have to describe the state of the system using some of its properties. Which are the, what kind of properties? It should be measurable properties. For example, pressure or temperature, volume, or we can say number of moles, or we can say some new terms here I am going to introduce. We will study it later, that internal energy, or we should know the enthalpy, or we should know the entropy, or Gibbs free energy. These four we will learn in this chapter, but in the later parts. Now, these properties are called the state variables. Or the state functions. Some of these are used to describe the state of the system. Okay. So, the properties used to describe a system is called as state functions or state variables. Now, why these are called state functions or state variables? There is something special about these properties. Like these properties always depends on the initial and the final state of the system. It means if we are going to do a process, so there are more than one way, more than one method to do the same process. If we are doing the same process having 2, 3 or 4 different methods, in each of these methods, the initial state and the final state, we will check the properties. That will be same. If in the first method, the pressure is something, and in the second method also the pressure will be same as we are going to start, then we will check the final state. We will find that in the final state also the pressure difference, the pressure change will be the same. It is from P1 to P2, from P1 to P2 in both the methods. The path is different. It means the mechanism what we used is different, but the initial and the final state values are same. Then only these are called the state functions. Like I am giving the example. We have a same water in two flasks. Same water means from the same tap we collected water in the two flasks. So its initial temperature will be same, T1 and T1. Now we are going to boil the water. So in two different ways. Now we will choose any two different methods to raise the temperature of the water. Now after using two different ways of boiling the water, at the end of the process, like after boiling, we will check the temperature and we will find that again in the first process the temperature is 100 degrees centigrade because the water always boil at 100 degree. In the second method or same, the temperature is 100 degree. It means the temperature change doesn't depend on the path from which the process is going through. It only depends on the initial stage of the matter and the final stage of the matter or system. Correct? That's why it is called the state function, which only depends on the initial and the final state of the system. It never depends on the path of the process. Same path of the process means what different mechanism we use to perform the same process. If the initial and the final state is same, it means it is a state function. So these are pressure, temperature, volume, number of moles, internal energy, entropy, enthalpy, Gibbs free energy. All these are state function. The third and the most important point is heat and work. Heat is denoted by Q and work is denoted by W. These are not the state functions. It means heat and work done depends on the mechanism of the process. Although we have to do the same process, changing from first state to the final state. The first state and final state will be the same, but we use two different methods of changing that. So two different methods, it means two different paths we use. If paths are different, then the heat and the work both will be different. It won't depend on the initial and final state. It depends on the path by which the process is done. Okay, that's why these are not state functions. So friends, with this topic, I'm going to end up this introductory video, but we have lot to know. So I will come with the next video having some more new terms to understand. So till then, keep studying. Do like, share and subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Till then, thank you.